I'm from Western Australia and must live in our own little bubble over there at times, and it was all a bit of a surprise to me when I first heard the name Erin Phillips. I didn't really know about the history of her dad, the connection to Port Adelaide. Erin's story, started playing footy with the boys and got to a certain age where she wasn't allowed to play. There was no female footy pathway for her, and then went down a different avenue of playing basketball. Was doing that for 17 years. When she first came over to Adelaide, she did a little bit of pre-season. She ended up hurting her quad, managed to get back just in time for round one, and then comes out Theberton Oval, the first ever AFLW Crows match against GWS, and kicks 3 goals. And we're like, she goes pretty well here.
Bombing it long, how will it bounce? It's going to go!
Having Erin and obviously her experiences in professional sport, was just pivotal for all of us. For 16 years, I was laughed at for playing the game. So when someone says, you're a professional sports person, you almost shut it down. So Erin came in and helped us believe in ourselves. She had a fantastic foundation of, strength and power. Erin's footy IQ, her game sense awareness, her goal sense, kicking ability, all of those skill fundamentals, she had, but also just being able to see the game and how it was unfolding, and agility coming from basketball. So, sometimes I remember just watching games and just admiring. You'd stop in awe of what she's about to do with the footy, and, just an incredible athlete all round.
Hatchard attacks the top of the square. Phillips!
2017 grand final, Erin and how she led that day was inspirational, to say the least.
Phillips, can she get some space? She can, and she goes!
I think Erin came out with about 28 touches. She had 19 of those were contested possessions, about 7 odd tackles, kicked a couple of goals. She had an extraordinary day. She did not waste a second. Just proves exactly why she was one of the best players in the competition. Erin's accolades are extraordinary. For someone who's been in the game for a short period of time, to come out with 3 All-Australians, 2 best and fairest for the entire competition, 2 club champions, and 2 best on ground grand final medalists. There's no player in AFL or AFLW who has ever, got all of those.
And it's history here in the making for Port Adelaide.
I remember when Erin had to make the decision about leaving the Crows and heading over to Port Adelaide. It was met with so much love and respect because of the history that her dad had created there, and I think everyone understood it. I remember seeing the video of her telling her dad that she was the captain of the Port Adelaide team and showing the #1 Guernsey to him, and you could just see how proud he was and so happy for them, to share in that.
Listen to the roar. She has a bounce. Go, Erin, go.
Erin, or as we fondly know her as Flip, has changed the entire landscape of women's footy. She's the greatest player, in my opinion, that's ever played this game.
She is greatness. She's got a winning instinct.
Just so grateful to have had someone like Erin to help basically bring that energy, love, passion for the game. She's so well deserving of this, and couldn't be prouder of her.
Would you please welcome to the Australian Football Hall of Fame, Erin Phillips.
Oh, good take. Guess who? Well,
I don't even have to look at the number to know that was Erin Phillips.
Phillips stayed back, did the Bradbury, and kicked the goal! Down is Phillips, smart goal!
Should be looking for Erin. Who's down there? Is she there? She's there! Phillips!
Phillips off a couple of stamps, guides it through.
Bombing it long. How will it bounce? It's going to go.
Magical stuff for the co-captain Erin Phillips. That's as good as it gets.
Erin, in 150 years plus of football, there are 3 father-son combinations in the Hall of Fame. The McMurrays, who are umpires, the Buntons, who are household names, and the Williamses, with Mark following Foss. You are the first father-daughter combination in the Hall of Fame. Have you got a grasp of what that means?
Thanks, Jared. It's still very, very surreal, but something I'm just so proud of. And the moment that I told my parents, Dad, was another very special memory that I'll have forever. But yeah, just so surreal to be here tonight, but just so honoured.
So the roots of this story are really clear, is if you have a look to the screen. So the premiership celebrations of your dad's Port Adelaide team, and there's a little girl who I can't imagine is meant to be on the premiership stage, but there she is.
Well, I was one of the greatest things is growing up in this football club, and Dad made sure that my 2 older sisters, Rachel and Amy, and we were always a part of the Port Adelaide Football Club, and when the premierships were won, I felt like they were mine as well. So I any chance that I could, and Dad brought myself and my sisters actually over the fence and probably started the tradition of the kids on the field, and I just loved being a part of that club and celebrating what I thought were my premiership cups as well. So yeah, little did I know that I'd ever get my chance.
So when you played, Erin, how badly did you want to fit in as a youngster?
Oh, as soon as I crossed that white line on a Sunday playing footy, I just felt like I could be myself. It was my passion. And John Cale, when I used to jump out at quarter time and half time and huddles, he used to say, find your passion, you'll do it well. And that's something that I've lived my life by. And I just wanted to play football so bad, and so I'd be up at 7 a.m, I'd be getting a piece of paper and I'd be demanding Dad to tell me where my running patterns should be or how I should play this way, and he used to tell me, calm down, you're only 9, 10 years old, you don't need to know that yet. But I just I loved every aspect of the game, and so he taught me everything, and never ever hesitated to say, no, I'm not teaching you this. So I demanded it, but I loved it. I tried to fit in, cut my hair short, had a really good mushroom haircut as a young kid, got mistaken for a boy constantly. I remember a game, actually, I ran out, the start of the game, ran out to centre half forward, stood next to my opponent. I could see him scanning the field, looking for something, and then he turns to me and goes, I heard you have a girl on this team. and I heard she's pretty good. And I looked at him and I go, yeah, you're standing next to her. And the fear and confusion on his face was priceless. But yeah, gave him a hiding that game too. So, I don't know. I never wanted to be a boy. I just wanted the opportunities that boys had, and that was footy, and that's all I ever wanted.
He was denied to for so long. I sort of need absurd permission here to skip over a basketball career which has got 2 WNBA titles, a World Championship gold and an Olympic silver. I can't imagine another forum in which we would just skip over those.
It's funny, I feel like I've lived 2 separate worlds, basketball and football, and I left to go overseas for a good part of 10 years to play basketball, and I lived my football dream through my brother-in-law, Sean, who was playing, and it didn't matter where I was in the world, I would try to stream and watch him and just be so envious. I remember a grand final, I don't know what number it was for him, but sitting in the MCG, and when they line up for the national anthem, it was the first time that I just hated him. I just wished I could be on the park just like he could playing footy. So, I had a wonderful basketball career. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever believe that after 17 years of leaving my last game of footy, that I would be in a position where I got to play again.
So that possibility comes with the AFLW, and there are two conversations that you need to have. One is with Tracy and one is with the Dallas Wings, who are your employer at the time. Maybe Tracy's conversation first. How did you pitch it?
Yeah, well, Tracy was pregnant with twins at that time, so you can imagine how well that went, that we should move from America to Australia to play a sport that she doesn't really know too much about. And then tell my team, the Dallas Wings, that I wanted to go in the off-season and play football. And when you ever ask them, you talk to Americans and particularly about football, they either ask you, is it like soccer or rugby? And you say, oh, neither, that they're crazy sports. So I try to downplay that it was a pretty extreme sport, but I read in my contract no skiing, no water skiing, no snow skiing, that there was no AFL football, so I wasn't doing anything wrong. So, but it's funny, when speaking to Tracy about, the prospect of coming back to Australia and raising our kids in their early age, are only 9 weeks old once they were born when we moved back, and all she said to me is, yep, this is your dream, I know it's been, and we've got to do it, otherwise we'll have regrets. So off we packed for the twins, 19 suitcases, and flew back to Australia.
Did she just check, do you think you'll be any good?
She did ask me, when I said I wanted to play, she goes, are you any good at this sport? So my response was actually, I don't know, but I'd like to give it a go. I think I can still have a kick. And I did get her out onto an NFL pitch in Dallas, Texas, to try to have a few kicks with me, and got some serious strange looks from fellow Texans walking by. But she's always been a massive support and still is today.
There are some amazing accomplishments, Erin, so we'll pick two with the Crows. The first grand final, the inaugural grand final with that crowd, and the fruition of a lot of dreams in that theatre. What do you recall of the first premiership?
Oh, it's just incredible. Up at the Gold Coast playing on Metricon, it was really, really hot. It was just, I remember talking to Chelsea, it was just like you play your last game, the top two teams make the grand final, and there we were getting ready to play the Lions, and just feeling like how awesome is this that we're here, and we're getting to play the game that we love in a grand final, and it's something that just getting to run out onto the field, the whole game was just a blur. I remember it being the hardest game I've ever played in any sport that I've ever played. To get the win was just incredible, and to then be able to take my kids, Brooklyn and Blake, onto the football field, just like Dad took us, was something that, was really, really special.
And the Adelaide Oval Grand Final of 2019, which is a scene that drips with pathos. So massive crowd, you win, you're the best player on the ground, and you've wrecked your knee.
Yeah. Pretty good and a shit day at the same time, wasn't it? No, it was just to have that many people, first of all, be at the game. It was, I remember warming up and, the girls were looking around and just seeing the third tier starting to feel, and just trying to rein your emotions in, just knowing how special and big this game was going to be, and then trying to get the job done. And then we had a really, really hot start, and then, the start of the third quarter, probably the most terrible change of direction in the history. I turned like a semi-trailer and did my knee, and I was devastated in the moment. The only thing that I really wanted to do was get back into the change room, have a cry, and then get back out onto the park with my teammates and celebrate what I thought we would get the job done. So it was monumentous, not just for our team, but for women's sport, to have that many people to show up. It was a real turning point in women's sport, I think, across Australia.
So much achieved with the Crows, but the actual dream was always to wear the Port Adelaide Guernsey with the number one and lead that team as your dad did, and then that opportunity came about.
Yeah, it's incredible because, like I said, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would even get the chance to play footy. And then Port Adelaide come into the picture, and it was a really, really difficult choice. Honestly, I think everyone thought that the decision was instantly made, but it was hard. I had really close relationships at the Crows, and yeah, I just knew that if I didn't take this opportunity to live out honestly a lifelong dream to play for Port Adelaide, that it would haunt me for the rest of my life. And you know, I think about so many times just being at Alberton and hanging over the fence and, you know, getting Grippo off of Alfie, our bootsman, and just wanting to play, like, live and breathe Port Adelaide. And I just knew that if I didn't take this opportunity that I might never get it again. And so I did it, and I'm so proud to have played for two incredible clubs and to play for a team that my dad played for and wear his number. It's hard to really describe. It's emotional and something I'm so proud of.
You are no stranger to a momentous moment, Erin, and this is another. A few thank yous, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say congratulations to all the other inductees tonight, the members of the Hall of Fame, legends. Like Nick, I do have many footy cards of you all, and I did bring a few. To the AFL, Richard Goyder, the committee, for deeming me worthy of this honour. It's just still mind-blowing. I'm so humbled. To my management team, and I'll try to make this as quick as I can. I've got a big entourage with me, but it is Fox Footy, and I am Channel 7, so I might steal a couple of minutes. No, only kidding. To my management team, Tom and Cam from TGI Sport, for always looking after me on and off the field. Well, now off the field only. You've been absolutely incredible. Like I said before, Jack said, find your passion and you'll do it well. And footy was always my passion, and I loved everything about it, from, you know, the Grippo to the deep heat, and playing in incredible teams with incredible players, and some here tonight. So Chels, MJ, Ange, thank you so much for being here. To two wonderful clubs that I played for, Adelaide Football Club and the Port Adelaide Football Club. Phil Harper, who made that phone call to me over in Phoenix, Arizona at the time, to get me to come and play for the enemy. I always often think that was the greatest phone call I've had, and also I think that phone call would have cost you more than my whole rookie salary, I reckon, Phil. Thank you so much. Also, every time we had a road trip, you made sure that our kids were with us. Tracy was with us, which also deprived me of my only good night's sleep a fortnight as well. So, to, like I said, my teammates, the fans, the support staff, the medical teams that I probably spent way too much time with, thank you for everything. My family here tonight, my sisters Rachel and Amy and their families, my nieces and nephews, taking up 2 tables. To my mum and dad, who I couldn't have asked for better parents, to let me be who I wanted to be and to guide me in whatever I wanted to do. Mum, you don't really ever get much credit, but you deserve it. I think about all the trainings you used to take us to, and sitting in the car on the cold nights. I thank you and love you so much. To Dad, I can't imagine how hard it would have been to tell your 13-year-old daughter that she couldn't play the game that she loves anymore. And 27 years later, she's standing next to you in the Hall of Fame. It's just... Thank you for teaching me a game that I loved, and even though you knew it was never going to take me anywhere at the time, you still taught me anyway. To my wife, Tracy, our 4 kids, thank you so much for allowing me to live out a lifelong dream of playing. Tracy, you've given up so much to leave your family to come here, and I've never met a American sport fan turn AFL nuffy in my life. I love you guys so much. You're the best. And lastly, I stand here as an individual receiving this honour, and I feel like I carry so many incredible women with me. So I'd like to acknowledge those women who made this possible, who paved the way for the AFLW, and who are still doing incredible work in footy across this country. To Debbie Lee, where's Debbie? Debbie, you kicked down this door so others could walk through. The first female member of the Hall of Fame. I'm so proud to be by your side, and I can't wait to kick more doors down with you, Deb. Thank you.
Good on you. Well done.